Oh, okay, now it's recording. Okay, so when was the first time you met Mary?
The first time I met Mary was back when I was 16, I think it was, or 15, I'm not even sure. But her grandma invited us over for a dessert night, and my mom was like, oh, let's go over and it's gonna be so much fun. And the reason I was told I was going is because Taylor, her brother, looked like me, and her grandma thought that we were gonna be really good friends and that we'd get along. And so her grandma invited us over, and we went over for a dessert night. And that night, I was just hanging out with Taylor. Me and him, we played ping pong and shot basketballs and stuff. And Mary was just sitting by the side talking to one of her friends that lived next door. And even though I didn't talk to Mary, it's like we were both like kind of just looking at each other and stuff. And after that night, I went home and I called my friends after and was like, wow, I met one of the most gorgeous girls. I just said that she was going to be really pretty when she was older.
That's so cute. Okay, what was your first impression of Mary?
My first impression of Mary was really the first time I saw her. I just thought, dang, that girl is really cute. Wish she lived in Logan.
What was the first date you went on?
The first date we went on, so after all these summers of our dessert nights, we would, trying to even think, so maybe the third time that she came up. The first two times we just hung out as families, and this year Taylor didn't come up this time, and so me and her, we started hanging out that night. We went over for dessert and we just talked that night, and Lizzie and everyone was there, and we just kind of all hung out, me and her, Lizzie and Sam. And then 2 days later, or the next day, she messaged me on Facebook and said, hey, come over to my house, we're gonna play games tonight. And to be honest, I thought she was joking, so I didn't go. And so the next day I messaged her back, and I thought she was kidding, so I didn't really say anything. And the next day I asked her if she would like to go on a date. She might dispute that, say that she asked me, but I'm pretty sure I asked her to go on that date that night, and we went, and it was probably the best date I've ever been on. Before, I was really nervous, and I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, oh man, first dates and everything, they kind of scared me, and I just didn't really want to go. My mom's like, oh, just go and have fun and everything. So we went and played mini golf, and we actually tied that day, and it's kind of a joke that we have now to this day that, but yeah, we tied. And after that we went to Charlie's, and our favorite ice cream place, and we just went there and had ice cream. And after that, then we went for a bike ride around Logan, and it was a really fun night.
What was your very first kiss?
So I thought that question was coming, so I stopped that first date short. So that whole night we were just having fun, and we were kind of joking about this thing called True Aggie, and she was asking me about it, and I said I'd never been one or anything, and she was just kind of kidding, and I thought she was just joking. And so the whole night we were riding bikes and stuff. She's like, oh, let's go to the True Aggie, and I just thought she was kidding, and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's like really, and then I would say it, and then she'd be like, oh yeah, like laugh about it. And then when we were done with our bike ride, I went to take her home, and she's like, well, aren't we gonna go to the A for the True Aggie? And I was laughing, like, okay, well, I'll get you home on time. And so we went to the A, and I guess she wasn't even in college at that time, but we became True Aggies on our first date, so kissed her then.
Okay, when did you know Mary was the one?
When did I know Mary was the one? So I don't know if I did after that first date. It's hard to tell, but after that night I got home and I just laid on my parents' floor and just thought to myself, like, wow, that was awesome. And I told my parents, both of them, just how much fun I had and just how much I loved it. And that night we texted each other and stuff, and I was up to like 4 or 5 just thinking about how much I liked her, and it was just weird. It was different than any other girl or anything, and that night I was just like, man, like something could work out, which was weird because she lived 10-12 hours away, and so I don't know why I thought that. And then they came up again a couple months later, hung out with her for about a week, and then I didn't see her again until I went on my mission. And the night before my mission, I said bye to people, but I didn't really want to say bye to her because I didn't know if I'd ever really talk to her again, but I thought I would, so I still get crap from her for this, but I just texted her the night before and said, see you later, I'll write you or whatever, but I didn't really want to say bye because I was hoping I'd still talk to her again when I got home. And so we wrote for 2 years, and the closer I got home, I was like, man, that's the girl that I want to go for when I get home. And after I got home, it was probably this last summer, about a year ago, and I liked her ever since I've been home and everything, and I just thought, you know, she's the one for me. So.
When did you first tell her that you loved her?
First time I told her I loved her. It's kind of a funny story actually. So it was about my last week of my mission, and I had a letter that I was going to write to her. We'd written quite a bit, but not like every week. We weren't really waiting or anything like that. It was just write to her and see what happens when I got home. But there was, it was about about a month before I got home, I started writing a letter to her, and I just told her how much I liked her and everything, and that even after these 2 years, and even not even really knowing her that well, that I liked her a lot. But I started writing it, and then I thought, no, that she'll think it's weird. Stopped for about a week, started writing it again, stopped again, and I was like, I don't know, I just don't know if I can write this. And then about a week or two before I got home, I was like, I don't care what happens, I'm just going to send it. So I sent it to her, she got it, and she sent me an email or a letter, I can't remember what it was, but she told me that she felt the same way and everything, and I was pretty stoked. And I was in the computer lab, or in the library for P-Day on mission, and writing emails home. And I got that from her, and I just remember I like stood up because I was like so excited, and like my companions, I told them about her and stuff, so they were all excited, and I was like just super happy. And so I remember writing her an email and like writing it and then backspacing and writing it again, and one of my companions like, tell her you love her, and I was like, no way. And he's like, just do it, you have nothing to lose. And so I guess the first time, I don't even remember this because I tried not to ever mention anything because I was pretty unsure about it, what she thought, but I guess that was the first email where I said it, and I was a bit shaky about it. But I guess the first time in person was after I got home, maybe 2 months after that, when we'd been talking and stuff, and when I went up to Oregon to see her and her family. I guess that's when I fell in love.
I remember when she got that letter.
Oh,
we were all stoked.
Almost didn't send it.
I'm so glad you did. Okay, what traits of hers drew you in?
What was that?
What traits of hers drew you in?
Traits that drew me in. This is funny for a high school kid, or I mean, I think I was a freshman, but when I first met her, one of the things that stood out to me then, which probably wouldn't stand out to me now, but usually like when I was with a girl, I would just joke around and like make fun and whatever, just like to have fun. And usually girls would be like, oh, that you're rude, or like just kidding, and they would just like, they wouldn't react to it, but they knew I was just joking, they'd just laugh. But she was like dishing it back, like saying like, just pulling pranks on me and stuff. Even the first night she was just telling me like just funny things that she would just dish it back to me after I'd say something to her, and I really liked that a lot. But over the last couple of years, I think just how humble she is and how kind-hearted she is, and I just see how she is around kids and old people in her family and my family, and it was the perfect girl that I wanted, and everything stands out to me. She makes me smile and laugh, and couldn't think of anyone better. She is a spiritual girl. I remember being in Oregon when she gave a talk, and she always told me how much she hated talks, and she did great, and I know that she has a a great testimony. And she has so many traits that those are a few of them, I guess.
Is there anything, like, is there a quirk about her that you find endearing?
Endearing? What do you mean by endearing?
Like, just like something that she does that you're like, oh, that's so cute.
It's funny because I was thinking about like questions you might ask me on the way here, and so I was thinking of things like this. But I think one of my favorite things is her OCD. Like whenever she's walking, we're going to walk together, and she will have to like turn around and go step on a leaf, or like she doesn't even think about it. She'll just turn around and step on it, or get on the car. She'll undo her seatbelt 3 or 4 times before she can get out, or she'll turn around and make sure the door closes perfectly. And I don't know. She thinks it's weird, but I think it's pretty cute.
I thought you might say the OCD.
Really?
Okay, when did you ask her dad to marry her?
When I went up to Oregon this last time for, I think it was the week after Christmas, and it's it's always something scary you ask any guy, and it depends, but I was pretty nervous the first couple days there. I don't think I was acting myself, because I knew I had to ask him, but I was like, when am I going to do it? And I don't know if he knew I was going to do it, but there was times like where it'd just be me and him in the room, and like I feel like he thought I was going to ask him, and I would just be like, and I'd be scared, and I'd just like get up and leave, go to a different room, so I was so scared. And it probably took me 2 or 3 days, and I was just nervous as can be. And then one night, Mary said, I wasn't feeling that good that day, so I was just like went up to my room, was just like laying down at their house, and Mary came and told me that they were going to the grocery store, her and Lizzie, and I was like, okay, this has to be it. And so I went downstairs, and her dad and her mom were in the kitchen together, and I just went down there and asked them both, and I said yes.
How did you propose to her?
How did I propose? So kind of went along the first date idea that me and her had, and she knew it was coming. Like I had her tell me what ring she wanted, but she didn't know when. And we went tubing that day, and I set up a scavenger hunt that night, and it took me a while. I wrote up little, not poems, but like little memories that we had at different places. So I took one to Charlie's and Texas Roadhouse and her grandparents' house, and where else did we go? And one at my sister's house, and they were just like different memories that we'd had. And after that, we went to, so I drove her, but she had to tell me like where to go. And first we went to Tandoori Oven, and that's where we started, like one of our first dates. We went there, and it was a family, her family and my family, and we ate there. And so we went there again, the same waiter and everything. He was the same guy, which is funny. And I got up and I gave him a letter after we were done eating, and he went and took it to her while I went to the bathroom. And she read it, and I came out, and she was like, she was almost out of the store. She didn't know she was going by herself or what. And so I had to catch her before she left, and then she told me where to go on the scavenger hunt and left clues on each one of where to go next. And then we went, after my sister's house, I had my brother and his wife and my friends helping to set up the end where I was going to propose. And so I had to stall for a little while, so I put a blindfold on her so she didn't know where we were going. And we drove, and I went to my house for a sec because I still had time, so I just left her in the car for a sec while I ran in to grab something. And then we went to the A where we had our first kiss. And this night it was like I don't know, 2-3 degrees. It was freezing, and so and she was getting car sick with the blindfold on, and I was like, just hold on, we're almost there, just hold on. I kept asking her if she wanted to take it off, and she said no. So we got there, and we walked to the A, and I had the ring box hidden in the top of my sock, in the long part of my sock, and pulled it out while I was taking her blindfold off. And then we walked, and we had candles and things lit up around the A, and just just walked her over to it, and I don't really remember what I said. It's video recorded, so you could see from there, but then yeah, I proposed to her there.
What are you most excited for to be married to Mary?
Things I'm most excited for, probably to go to Aruba after our wedding. And I think to just live by her or with her, because we've always had such a distance between us. Either it's here to Hawaii, Australia to Oregon. Closest we've been is Logan to Provo, which has been 2 hours, which is good. But I think just to live with her, and I don't know, I'm excited to see what that's like.
Describe how you picture life with Mary in the future.
Life with Mary in the future has to be somewhere with the sun. Has to be warm. A big happy family, a good happy family, and I don't know, wherever life takes us, but I know that we'll be happy wherever we are. But from what I can picture, I can be somewhere where it's warm and hot, and somewhere nice to be outside all day so she can go for runs and lay outside.
Okay, so do you want to just tell Mary to the camera how much you love her and why she's the one?
Yeah. So Mary, you know that I love you, and over the last couple years I really have gotten to know you, and you've really become my best friend. And like I said earlier about my favorite traits of you, everything about you I love, and it's seeing you how you are around old people and young kids and my family and your family, and just how nice you are to everyone. You look for the needs in others other than yourself, and I know how much, I know how much happiness you bring to my life, and hope I can bring that to yours. And it's a lot to say. It's easier to write it down, but I know I might need to do this part again.
Oh, you can do it again.
We'll redo this last part.
Okay.
Okay.
I like how it sounded though.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
I know, I was a bit camera shy too.
Okay, so the reasons why I love you, Mary, there's a lot of them, and probably the most, after getting to know you all these years, it's just how humble you are, and how much you look for the needs of others other than yourself, and just how kind you are to everyone else. There's a lot of times where I've seen where you sacrifice what you're doing to go help someone else out, either letting them borrow your car, or going to see my grandma and grandpa, or going to see Opa, or anything like that. You always put aside time and to go and visit someone who's, I don't know, just so you can brighten their day. And that's something I've really seen. You always make me happy and make me smile, and there's a lot of memories I have where we can't stop laughing, and times where can't stop crying. And just everything about you I love, and just how strong you are in the church, and just how dedicated you are to everything you do. And I know how happy you make me, and I know that everyone in my family loves you, and even Addie, she says she likes you, she loves you, but she doesn't like me. And so, like Haley said today, I don't know if we're the right couple for Addie, but I know we are. And I just can't wait to spend forever with you. It's going to be a great time, and I just love you so much.
I love this.